What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today I'm here to show you my everyday carry. So these are products that I use pretty much every single day. Whenever I leave the house, I'll either bring them with me, but I'm also going to talk about some of just what I would call daily essentials and products that are kind of my go-tos for the past couple of years. I know the tech side of things is constantly changing, and I've added a few tools here and there. And of course, with the pandemic, an everyday carry bag has transitioned over to just like a simple carry from home to the office for a day-to-day work setup. So in this video, we're going to talk about the tech side of things, including the smartphone, the earbuds, and the computer tablet setup. I'm also going to talk about the watches because you guys have been asking on a lot of videos and I just haven't talked about it on the channel. I'm also going to go into some of like the day-to-day like hair product and like go-to soaps and that kind of stuff. And of course, the keychain and what I have it on at the moment, as well as the wallet and just some of my go-to credit cards that I use for personal and business. If you guys would like to win an item from this video, just make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and also leave a comment down below, and follow me over on Instagram at justin.tsc, and I'll pick a winner when this video hits 3,000 likes. So I think first thing that makes the most sense to talk about, and I think is pretty cool, is my keychain. So this is what I bring everywhere, and I seem to lose it all the time, but the keychain that I have is the KEYSMART Pro. What this is a holder that can have up to 14 keys, but there is also tile that is built in. So if I want to go ahead and find it, I can use the app. This is a great accessory for anyone who loses their key all the time. I like the fact that it is just fully built in, but on top of that, it is just a great holder because as we picked up more real estate over the years, it has gotten to the point where there's 14 slots right here, and with like the mail key, the parking key, the storage key, and like building key and all that kind of stuff, there's literally no room for all of them. And so this is like at least an easy way to be able to store some of them, and it keeps it in a very nice and compact form instead of having all of your keys just flying everywhere. One of the newest accessories that just came out and showed up though is the Apple AirTags. And I've got to say, Apple did a great job on this because at just $29, it is pretty much going to wipe out the industry for these key trackers for any iPhone user out there. It just seems like it makes the most sense with the U1 chip, the unification with the Find My application, and the precise positioning that it is able to give you. I feel like at $29, Apple just absolutely blew it out of the water. You can also get a pack of 4 for $100, so if the whole family needs it, it all just makes sense, and I feel like that price for what it's able to offer is unbeatable. But overall, it works very well, so even though I have the tile built into my key and I plan to continue to use the KEYSMART, in terms of actual key tracking, the Apple one just works so much better. When it comes to the car key right here, you guys might have seen my video of the car that I picked up at the start of the year, and that is the Mercedes CLA 45 AMG for 2021. And you guys absolutely killed it on that video. I didn't really think that many people would want to see a video of like a car on a tech channel. And in terms of some of the changes that I've made to it since, it's tinted windows and also chrome deleting the handles, chrome deleting the badges as well. But otherwise, it's been a really good daily car so far. So when it comes to the smartphone, the one I've been using is the iPhone 12 Pro Max since it came out last year. And in terms of size, it is a little bit larger than the iPhone 11 Pro. And in the beginning, I definitely felt that with like the squared off design. But I can tell you that after using it for 6 months, I would say the phone is perfect and there's nothing that I really have to complain about it. The camera's really good. You can shoot raw photos with the update that came out last year as well. And I've been using that a lot. The video recording is also great. The stabilization is there. I like the flat display without having like the curved edges anymore. And I also find that the phone is just very fast, easy to use, and I have no plans to switch to anything else. I'm planning to go with the large iPhone every year moving forward. One of the biggest issues that I used to always run into was battery life. And on previous iPhones, I could probably run it out by like 2 or 3 p.m. But I found that with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, it has actually been really good all along, and I'm able to get through an entire day of about 9 hours of screen on time without needing to charge it. The case that I have on it is the Apple silicone case. I've used this for many years now. And although there are a lot of great case options out there, I just like the grippy feel, how it's very tight. It has like a bit of a sill on the front as well, which is good to prevent it from cracking the display if I dropped it. But you can probably tell it has a bit of wear on the corners here. The silicone does like to peel off once you drop it a couple times. And it does also have the MagSafe support. So if you guys have accessories that work with that, you do want to ensure that you're using the right case to make the most of that. But honestly, I haven't really used the Apple Watch wallet case or any of the MagSafe chargers or accessories. Another very important tool that I use though is Keeper Security and their password manager. So over the past year, I've really tried to increase the security of all my accounts. And it's no secret that being a public YouTube channel, a lot of our accounts are a very heavy target in terms of hacking. So I've really tried to buckle down and make sure we have all of our passwords safely secured, and also two-factor authentication with Google Authenticator. But Keeper Security is a great place to store all of your passwords. It manages them for you. It is very secure when it comes to accessing your master passwords, and it also has great autofill features. So whenever you want to log into something, it is still very, very convenient and safe. You never have to reset passwords or get locked out of your accounts ever again. And just to have that peace of mind, having a password manager is very important, and you can also use their built-in password creator that will generate a strong password and autofill while remembering them for you, so you don't have to remember like a very long, random but secure password format. It's a great password manager that I have on my smartphone or my computer, and I also have it downloaded on any new device that I have, just to be able to sign into the whole bunch of accounts that we have without having to memorize the specific passwords for each one while keeping them safe. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out for yourself, I've got a link down below, and a huge thanks to them once again for sponsoring this video. When it comes to the next generation iPhone though, some of the things that I really want to see as an iPhone user is a 120 Hz display, as well as the ability to use the fingerprint sensor, as well as the Face ID by having it built in. And I also think reverse wireless charging would be a great option to have if you want to charge like your AirPods on the go, and maybe even some improvements to the image quality on the wide angle camera, because even though there have been some incremental ones, I feel like Apple is really focused on the main and telephoto cameras first. So when it comes to the earbuds, nothing too exciting here. I use the Apple AirPods 2nd generation, and the reason why I don't use the AirPods Pro is because I lost the case, but I also just like the AirPods 2 a little bit more. The plastic finish actually fits very nicely in my ear, and I'm able to just put them on and pop them out at any time. It just makes things much easier. But if I am flying, which hasn't happened in about a year and a half, then having the AirPods Pro is super handy because it has the noise cancellation features, and when you're on a plane, the AirPods are just not enough to block out the background noise if you're listening to like dialogue in a movie. But overall, these have been very trusty, and from the leaks of the 3rd generation Apple AirPods, I'm super excited because it seems to have like a hybrid design between the AirPods 2 and the AirPods Pro. So next up, when it comes to the computer, this is probably one of my favorite pickups in the last year. And I also did a long-term review of this, so if you guys want to check that out, I'm going to drop a link in the description section below. But that is the Apple MacBook Air with the M1 processor from 2020. So as I mentioned in the past, I was pretty skeptical of the M1 processor, not because Apple's not good at making chips. I knew it was going to be very powerful, but I was more so questioning the compatibility with applications. And I can tell you that from the day that we have been using the M1 Mac since they arrived for review, they have been extremely impressive, and I have pretty much had no complaints whatsoever. I'm just really waiting for the Pro models to come out, including the MacBook Pro 14-inch, the 16-inch, which is rumored to have a redesign, as well as the Pro line iMac, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of the design of the M1 24-inch iMac, but I know I'm not really a demographic for it. But the M1 MacBook Air has been really impressive. Not only did it come in at a lower price than my 2020 MacBook Air with an Intel processor, but the storage and everything, as well as the processing speed, the battery life, how fast it is to wake up, these are all features that I really notice as a day-to-day laptop that I bring from home and work and essentially pick up and use all the time. The battery life as a heavy user still lasts 2 to 3 days, which is crazy because I've never had a computer be able to do that before. Obviously, if you're doing like video editing and more like production work, then maybe getting the MacBook Pro would make more sense because it has a dedicated fan and will run a little bit faster. But for what I use it for and like administrative stuff, going on Notion, Photoshop, Dropbox, and all these web-based applications and Chrome, I have had no problems with this M1 MacBook Air at all. And if anybody asks me right now which laptop they should buy, I have no problem recommending this. When it comes to a laptop case, I've really jumped around over the years, but the one that I've been using is one from INCASE. And the reason why I like this is because it is just so thin and it protects the computer very well. It has like this insert that is the perfect size of the 13-inch computer and kind of a soft material, and it sort of has like this like magnetic flap right here. It definitely wasn't cheap for what it is. It seems like a very minimal case, but if I'm like taking my computer around and it's getting bumped, it at least has like this nice cushion that goes all the way around. So another piece of tech that I also use a lot is the iPad Pro 13-inch. And to be quite honest with you, before the release of the M1 MacBook Air, I didn't really use my MacBook that much and instead used the iPad Pro 11-inch with the Magic Keyboard. I feel like the Magic Keyboard is an accessory that has allowed a lot more people to use this tablet as their main computer. And with the M1 model that is coming in May, it just kind of brings that notion to another level because the power is absolutely insane. And just to think that an M1 processor with 16 gigs of memory can be on a tablet just raises the question as to when they're going to release Final Cut Pro 10 on a tablet. But some of the things that I really like about the iPad is the pencil. It is really fun to use. I love the typing experience. I also think it's better for multimedia than a MacBook, but I don't really bring both these around at the same time. It kind of just depends on the day. If I'm just doing like very basic emails and stuff like that, maybe typing out some notes, then I'll bring the iPad. But if I need to use like Photoshop and Dropbox and all that kind of stuff, then using a Mac is just way more convenient. But I can say the iPad and the Mac both get a lot of use and they've been great tools for the workflow. Another part of my everyday carry that's a bit newer is this WD black case. And I'm sure you could find something very similar online, but ever since I started working in a dedicated office space versus my house, I've had to take like a lot of storage around. So just by having a case like this, for anybody who is into video editing or camera gear, you can just have all of your different SSDs stored in different areas, as well as adapters, cables. Some of my go-to ones are the Western Digital Black, the 4TB one that is made for gaming. But just look at this black finish. It is super nice looking. And with rumors of a matte black iPhone that is going to be coming out later this year, maybe the EDC will just all come together for the first time. By having everything in this case, at the end of the day, I can just zip it up and put it with my computer and take it home so I can work for another 4 hours by the end of an entire day. So when it comes to the wallet part of the EDC, this area hasn't changed for many years. And originally, I'm sure you guys thought it was just like a clickbait item that I put in the thumbnails, but this is the wallet that I use the most. It is not cheap. I remember paying resale for it. I think it was like 1,300 bucks back in the day, but I believe if I wanted to sell it even like 3-4 years later now, I can still get most of my money back. And the main reason why I've been using this wallet is simply because it works. It's been good luck. Things have, gone pretty decently on the business side since I started using this. And I did switch up my wallet for a week, but I don't know, I just wasn't really feeling it. So this right here is the Supreme LV collaboration. And the red color looks pretty good. Nothing really much to say about it. And when it comes to credit cards, there's quite a few here. And the way I have my credit cards set up is that I have an Amex Business Platinum, which is the one that I use the most. And I can really recommend, especially if you plan to travel a lot. But in general, if you spend a lot per month and a lot of media companies with like Facebook ads and Google ads, then I've seen this card be very popular. But the fact that it's made out of metal is pretty cool as well. It just, I don't know, it looks nice. And yeah, so that is the Amex Platinum. I'm gonna drop a link down below if you guys want to like use a referral code, and I believe you guys get some extra points as well. On the personal side, I use the Amex Cobalt. I just didn't see the need of paying $600 for another Platinum credit card if I'm already paying for that and getting all the benefits on the business side. So that's my Amex setup, but on top of that, I also have a Visa for the business as well as personal, and also the other company that I co-own has a Visa card as well. So that is why the wallet's pretty fat, but overall, I keep everything very, very simple. So now I'm finally gonna talk about the watches. And the reason why I don't really talk about the watches is that it just seems like very materialistic, and I didn't really buy them to like show on the YouTube channel. I bought them because I thought they were cool. And honestly, they've been a pretty good investment as well. I've made more off the watches than I have off my TFSA investments, which could either mean the watch market is crazy or I just suck at investing. I'd probably say the latter or a bit of both. But the watches that I currently have right now is the Rolex Daytona Panda and also the Rolex Hulk, the Submariner model. I did used to have an AP 15300 ST, but the reason why I sold it is honestly because it was just too delicate for my lifestyle. Every day I'm like running around filming and this and that, and the watch band actually broke off 2 different times. The watch itself also needed a maintenance. For like the finance side of things, I purchased that watch at about $15,000. I sold it for about $20,000 and I added a bit of cash and got this Daytona Panda last year for the equivalent of 24,000 US dollars. And if you guys go ahead and look at the price of it right now, it has already gained a lot of value, so I feel like it's a piece that I'll definitely hold on to. I think it's a really nice size. It is nice and flat. It has like the ceramic face with the platinum inserts. And overall, I think it is a really nice looking watch, but I don't know if I would buy it if it was at the price that it was at today. So as an investment, I'm super happy with it and I plan to hold on to it. And I do try to wear it pretty much every other day. It is just super light and minimal, and it looks a lot bigger in the photos than it is in person. The other watch is one that I got after the Daytona, and I wasn't really planning to get another watch after that, but this came up at a really good price. I believe I paid about $16 for it. And as you can see, it is just like a really nice everyday watch. Whenever I'm maybe doing something that is a little bit more likely to scuff up the watch a little bit, I will try to put this one on. I just feel like it is a lot more durable than the Daytona, but I'm sure the Daytona is very durable as well. It is once again a stainless steel band and it has like a nice weight to it, a good amount of thickness. And I think the green is just a super nice color. It goes nice with my very neutral outfits. Yeah, I really like this. And in terms of watches that I want to get in the future, I really like the APs and I do kind of miss my Royal Oak. So I might go ahead and pick up like an AP diver, a 42 or 41 millimeter. I don't know if that's like too big for my wrist with like a silicone band, but I don't know. I don't really plan to go like too crazy on watches just yet. I still like to buy real estate a little bit more and I feel like there's a lot of other priorities, but whenever a good watch deal comes up and I feel like it makes sense and it's gonna gain value over time, so far the watches have been really good at holding their value, so I plan to do it a little bit more. So I used to be someone who really used to buy shoes, and I believe at some point I calculated I spent like $22,000 on a shoe collection. And to be totally honest with you, I lost most of that money, or not most of it, but like I didn't really get my money back on what I spent. And it makes total sense. I mean, the shoe market is changing very often, and there's like the condition related side of it. If you want to wear it, it's going to drop in value. So I feel like watches are a very good transition for any sneakerhead that ends up selling their collection and wants to find something else to enjoy while also gaining a bit of value. But that is kind of like the watch side of things. And make sure you guys let me know down in the comment section below what your favorite watch is at the moment and maybe part of your collection. On the topic of things that I wear though, you guys probably know by now, I have a very limited wardrobe in terms of what I've been wearing in the past year. I mean, with COVID and everything, there's just no point in buying nice clothes. I literally don't go anywhere or do anything. So I've been wearing clothing from my own brand, Dangerfield, whether it's the black one with the white logo or like the gray one with the white or black logo. This right here is a prototype and I'm gonna be launching the black logo sometime in the future. In terms of pants, I used to wear the nylon ones from Publish that you guys ask about all the time, but I recently switched over to something a little bit more comfortable, and this is the Lululemon ABC. So picked up a few pairs of it and just rock the same thing every day. I mean, black pants with a gray or black hoodie and a pair of common projects, I feel like is like a pretty good like everyday comfortable outfit that also looks a little bit dressy once you put like a watch on it or a pair of leather white shoes. The only other thing that's kind of in like my everyday carry that I've been trying to use a little bit more but have slowly transitioned towards it is to write down my schedule. And my schedule is kind of scattered all over the place. I have it in the calendar, I also have it in the notes of like an active to-do list, and I also have it over in Notion where everybody has their weekly tasks. I don't really have like a blend between like live and work, so everything is just blended into one, but I do feel like having a tangible or physical note that writes down the things that I have to do in a given day is super handy. I want to start writing things down a little bit more, even crazy ideas. I just don't want to forget how to write because I really haven't written anything in quite a few years now that everything is on the computer. So when it comes to a portable mouse, I pretty much got the exact same thing that I have on the desktop, but in a mobile version. And this right here is a Logitech MX Anywhere, and it is really good at tracking on all surfaces, which is important for a mouse that goes everywhere, even on glass. So yeah, you have 3 different devices you can connect it to, the on-off as well as the charging. The scroll wheel is very nice. It is super compact, and at this size, you really have no reason not to bring it anywhere. I know Apple has like the best trackpad of all computers, but to be honest, I still like using a mouse. Some people might think I'm crazy, but yeah, this is what I bring around. Nothing much to say about it. The battery life lasts a super long time. I think at some point I had this in my drawer for like 6 months in a row, and when I took it back out, it was still okay. So now we're done like the everyday carry, let's talk about just some of the daily essentials, and I'm gonna go into more detail in like a morning routine or whatever, but these are products that I use every single day. And there's also this website called Uncrate that just has so many like guys stuff and like, I don't know, all the stuff that I didn't even know existed, that has caused me to spend quite a bit of money. But for the most part, all the stuff that I use on an everyday basis has stayed the same. In terms of hair stuff, I use blue LAYRITE, and I've been using this for about 2 years now, and they actually have many different colors. They have a brown one, a black one, a blue one, and I used to use the black one, which has a strong hold, but I didn't like the fact that my hair from the front was like kind of straight up, but if you looked at it from the side, it was just like a 45-degree angle. I know a lot of you guys commented that my haircut looked terrible, but it was just the way that I was styling it. I was just too lazy. So blue is at least a good medium between a strong and light hold, and it's kind of been like the perfect medium that I stuck to. And in terms of, I just kind of put everything in my Dangerfield leather bag, which is out of stock. The kind of biggest change that I've added to the way I style my hair, as soon as I get out of the shower while the hair is still a little bit damp, I'll throw on some coconut curling cream, and that just gives like a stiff Asian hairstyle a bit of a curl to it, so that it at least like kind of goes back a little bit nicer. So this is super cheap and it's lasted a very, very long time. In terms of a shaver, I use the Babyliss Pro Foil. I've had this for a couple years as well, and it does a really good job. Again, I haven't really tried out too many of them, but this one has been pretty reliable. And in terms of a daily cologne, the one that I like is the Santal 33 by Le Labo. I'm usually not someone who likes to spend too much money on this kind of stuff, but I figured I'll buy it once and just stick to it. It is like a nice light smell to it. I know there's like some that are very strong. I used to have like the Creed Aventus, and that one is just too much. So this one I think is a nice like daily medium, and yeah, they've got a lot of stuff, so it all comes down to personal preference. In terms of face stuff, I use the Neutrogena Hydro Boost, and you guys might remember I used to have like really, really bad skin, and occasionally it gets a little bit dry, which is completely opposite of what it used to be. So I threw some of this on, and yeah, it's a bit of a ripoff because you look at the packaging, it's like 50% plastic and just like a little bit of cream in there, but you can grab it on Amazon and it's not too expensive. But these are kind of like my daily essentials and products that I bring on an everyday basis. Whenever I'm heading out the door, I'll throw on one of the two watches, and these are automatic watches, so you do have to like wear them, otherwise they won't tell time, where you have to like wind them and whatever. I'll try to bring the Apple AirPods, but I forget those all the time. But I never leave the house without my keys, my phone, either the computer or the iPad. If I have some room, I'll take the notepad and the mouse. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.